Welcome to the Political Refs with Justin Criddle, Dan Snell, and Jesse Hall. Blowing the whistle on Washington, D.C. Hello again. It's time for the Political Refs. Jesse Hall, Justin Criddle, and Dan Snell. Each week, America, we are referees, and we're blowing the whistle on Washington, D.C., and behavior and words and things that happen, because once in a while you need, or at least we'd like to see some rules that are followed when it comes to American leadership. Even my dog right here, Hercules, as you can see, agrees, says sometimes they sound like barking dogs. You're a good boy, Herc. And that's what live podcast is about, when you have excitement like a dog coming. But let's get right to it. The game's going to start, the Political Refs. Justin, why don't you throw up the ball tonight with our first topic?
All right, we're tipping off, right? We got action. Boom, we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down. We're going up and down the court, and boom, we got a charge. All right, we're calling a charge. Offensive. We don't know who the offense is. We can agree to disagree on who the offense is going to be, but we have a charge.
Got a charge.
Trump's tariffs.
The tariffs.
Charge. Who's going to be on offense? Some people believe that the American people are going to be the offense. I'm of the opinion that the Mexican, Canadian, Chinese government citizens, they will be the offense, who are charged 25 to 10% on all goods imported into America.
And we got the shot clock. You got 15 seconds left according to our
15 seconds. I don't have nothing else to say. We already got our shot up. It's off.
Well, I don't know. You mentioned, though, we're going to have to get together, as a lot of referees do. There's this red. We're going to have to get together because I got the charge on the administration, because I think the defense is Mexico and Canada and China. They're just trying to play defense, normal way trade discussions. They're trying to do trade, international trade, and we're just coming at them hard, trying to knock them down, whether it's for negotiations purposes or whether it's fentanyl or immigration, whatever it is. We're just trying to power through them. And I'm saying the charge is on the United States. Jesse, we're getting together here. You may have to break the tie here as we get together. What do you think? Well, what do we got?
I think it's on the American people that's going to have to bite this bullet. And so whichever side that puts me on, that's the side I'll stay with.
Okay. So,
once you pass it on, because they're not going to eat, come on, guys, 25%? No, it's all on us.
Do you know why they're going to pay 25%? Because America is their number one consumer. We're a consumer economy.
There we go. That's a tough one, folks. That's a tough one. But sometimes referees have to make tough calls. Referees don't always agree, but that's why we get together. But tariffs, big topic this weekend. I'm sure we'll visit back next week. We'll visit back on that topic. Jesse, what's another topic as we're officiating this Washington, D.C. behavior?
Oh, let's see. I believe it's the one that deals with diversity, DEI, and inclusion.
DEI. Yeah, that's a tough one. Jason, Justin?
Give it to him again, Dan. Give it to him again.
DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah, particularly it came up this week with regards to this horrific tragedy in Washington, D.C., the plane and helicopter colliding. And immediately, in this case, the crowd, I'd say the team owner, let's just say the team owner came out and he was sure that the crash was due, or at least was painting the picture that the crash was due to DEI hires. And I think that wasn't based on any facts, any historic perspective, and so that's a tough one. I think that we need to go into the rule book here, as well as the team owner needs to go into the rule book, because I think some premature opinions were formed there with regards to DEI.
Well, because Justin is our R right now, our rule book specifically says that if there's this situation that is not covered by the rule book, unfortunately, Justin, this one falls on you, my friend.
The R has to make the decision. Go to the table.
Right here. This play right here is well within the rule book. We have a signal for it. We have a call for it. It's right here. Boop, going this way. Out of bounds. He's out of bounds. He's way out of bounds. Okay. To me, and I've said this throughout the duration of the week, is that it seems odd. Whatever happened, the malfunction, the mishap is tragic, one, okay? Lives were lost. Obviously, that's never good. But something went wrong. I wish we had more answers to what went wrong. Obviously, you don't want to speak on what went wrong before you know what went wrong. And to blame it on DEI, that's way out of bounds. Because here's the thing. If it was up to DEI, that would mean there were thousands and thousands of successful landings at that airport, at that runway, due to those DEI hires.
40,000 a day.
What's the percentage that one out of 40,000? Okay, the DEIs are like 99.99999% successful on landings at that airbase if it's on DEI. Suspicious, unfortunate, all of those things, yes. DEI, no. Am I a fan of DEI? No. Statistically, does it improve impoverished and minority groups? No. I'm not for DEI, but to blame it on DEI, out of bounds.
Yeah, it is tough. I'm trying to think of a court, something might happen. Let's say we're running down the court and it was something completely unusual. A player was not touched, and the player just collapses. In this case, sadly for the American hearts, we just had a player, that airplane and the helicopter, they just collapsed on the court. They just crashed. It was an accident. And we don't have to immediately assign blame. But why did that player go down? We don't know. The doctors, the people that study that, we just take the player off the court and study why did he or she collapse on the court. And I think they're not letting the FAA and the National Transportation Board, they're not giving them time to do what they've always done so successfully and get the facts. So whether it's a player falling down, collapsing on the court, or the tragedy that we had with the planes, that's what happened. And so we're just calling out, I think you said it, unsportsmanlike conduct. Isn't that what you also said, Justin?
I don't know that it was unsportsmanlike. It was out of bounds for sure. Unsportsmanlike, I don't know if it met the qualifications for unsportsmanlike because there was no direct attacks. It was never personalized.
Well, there was some verbal taunting, I thought. There was verbal taunting.
We would come together. I would tell you, no, I don't think it's cause to give this player a technical foul for unsporting or to issue a warning in the book for unsporting. But we can come together and talk about that. If you think so, we'll keep an eye on it. And if it happens again, boom, we'll bang.
We'll just keep an eye. We'll keep an eye on this week. That we'll give that player talk to. Hey, don't talk like that so quickly, just because things trouble you. Okay, all right. Let's see what else we had. Tariff, DEI.
Yeah, I think though that we're kind of, in my opinion, we're overlooking the fact that there is a major situation from the political side, and as officials, we say, well, who's at fault? Well, it's kind of like in basketball where we're taught to referee the defense. So if the defense doesn't do anything that's wrong, and then we all have responsibilities as far as area coverage is concerned, and we've taken up a lot of time here trying to go over, well, what went wrong, other than the fact that we know for sure a lot of people lost their lives on both of those carriers. Who's at fault? Right now, we don't know. So if we're putting this in the perspective of us refereeing, we are trying to decide, okay, did the tower do something wrong, for example? Or was it pilot error? Was it weather? Right now, we don't know. So all we know is that, and I think one of you guys mentioned, we have something that's totally out of bounds. Now, this is a major out of bounds here now that we're talking about, but we've got to just look at it from the standpoint of, until we have more information on this particular situation, I almost think that, we've kind of tied the score, and I don't want to be the one to try and break it because there's just not enough information there for me to say that out of the other.
And, in college and NBA, they do have a replay. And I think we're going to have to wait because this is going to be a long time coming together to get the facts on the replay to watch it over and over and over. But I think there was just a rush to do that.
Yes.
Okay, next topic on this court for the political refs, folks. And by the way, if you're watching the political refs, we come to you every week. Be sure and like, subscribe, comment, give us some ideas, follow us, tell your friends, share it with your friends. Jesse Hall, Justin Criddle, Dan Snell here with the political refs. So what's our next topic on the court?
We got deportations.
Deportations.
And I'm going to go ahead and make my ruling on this right now, real simple, real clear. Okay, here's the thing, because when we're officiating so many times, and I've been on the player side and now I'm on the officiating side, so many times players and coaches feel offended as if it's a personal thing when calls are made or they're asked to be up to a certain standard in what they wear onto the court, earrings, tucking the jersey in, subbing in at the table, checking the number in with the book. These things have to happen. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter how tall you are, how short you are, if you're a girl, if you're a boy, if you're the best player or the worst player subbing in at a 40-point blowout with 3 seconds to go, it doesn't matter. You have to do these things to get into the game, okay? Deportations. I might go over my shot clock. It might be a shot clock violation. Deportations. You have to sub in the right way. It's nothing personal. You have to be beckoned in. So you have to be sent back to the bench until we beckon you onto the court. Nobody is saying they don't want to see you on the court, but you have to come in the right way.
Yeah, good point.
Yes. For me, this is pretty elementary. I mean, because when you go into officiating, you don't start out working in the Final Four. You work your way up from maybe bitty ball with your kids that play on a 6-foot basket or an 8-foot basket. But those kids are taught from the time they're 6 years old and until they stop playing the game of basketball at even 55 or older. They know from all of the years that they've played, you have to be beckoned onto the court. Otherwise, you're subject to the technical foul. I think we're working at a much higher level right now other than, having just a bitty ball. These are grown individuals, full grown. They know what the rules are. This is not an out-of-bounds situation. You run out onto the court without being beckoning on. That's a technical foul.
Now, there it is. Jesse Hall, with that tee. Let him see that tee, folks.
He's been technical foul all day.
So, I mean, that's just my perspective of where we are with this, and then it's a rule, guys.
Yeah, I think that's the bottom line. It's following the rules that are set forth in the rule book. And as you said, Justin, nothing personal about any individuals, but if they follow the rules, if they wait till they're beckoned on to the call and follow the rules, then they will have, and they are offered, a great arena to play in, the United States of America, and they're offered ways to shine bright and make money and raise their family. And so it does come down to the rule book. Okay, well, that was a good one. How about...
But I also, hey, Dan, and Jeff, but I also think, though, when people decide that if they want to come here, and let's say that they've been here 20 years, that doesn't matter to me. I mean, you came in illegally, right. You had an opportunity to make it right in 20 years. So why didn't you make it right?
Right.
I can't right now see myself saying that, oh, well, they've been here that long, let's just let it go.
It's kind of because here's the thing: a law has been broken, a crime has been committed. It's like saying you're a successful drug dealer, and because you bought a car, bought a house, and paid the taxes on it, you don't deserve to be kicked in on 20 years later. No, you just been a successful dope dealer for 20 years. You've been breaking the law successfully without getting caught for 20 years. It's time to pay. It's time to pay the bill.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got technical fouls, T's on
Absolutely.
on that situation.
Then we want him back on the court. Got to go to the bench. Got to come back in. Yep. What did you?
Well, I think the American people who are in the stands, they're up in the stands. They have been cheering and stomping, and they want something to change with regards to some of the illegal immigrants, particularly, we'll call them the bad boys. Let's see, who's some of our all-time bad boys in the NBA? I'm trying to think. Dennis Rodman. Poor Dennis Rodman. Yeah. When you think of bad boy in the NBA, you think of Dennis Rodman. I think of, I remember when I repped in the CBA, Marvin Barnes. Not too many people will remember him as much as Dennis Rodman, but there are bad boys, bad girls. And so I think the fans want the really bad out first. So I think that's what America's cheering for. And I just hope that we find a way to do it that doesn't cause chaos, because, sometimes that term is associated with President Trump's term, his first term, and I want his second term as an American. I always have hope and want for the best, and I hope that the things he's trying to do, which he got elected on, 49.6% of the American people, or at least those that voted, want that. So let's hope that this whole deportation thing comes about in a good way. But before we move on, as we're always moving on, folks, you'll listen to the political refs, Jesse Hall, Justin Criddle, Dan Snell. And then we'll get to each week we give an MVP. But there was one thing I was just watching the last week. We have a new White House press secretary, Karoline Leavitt. Karoline is young, attractive, in her 20s. Some of the best basketball referees in America are in their 20s. Jesse, somebody we know that might be in their late 20s that's great at what their job. However, her enthusiasm, because she came up, she came up through the ranks of being a political spokesperson for Donald Trump for the campaign. I think she's still in the mode. She's still in the mode of campaign bad mouth. So let's say I signed this as I got on 15 seconds to an arena. If you're at a college arena or pro arena, when the arena announcer is playing music while the away team is trying to dribble up the court, you don't have to always be bashing the other team to be now a press secretary. So, Karoline, we're cheering you, but you got to quit playing music while the other team's trying to run their offense.
Hey, Dan, I just got the rebound. I'm coming right back down the court. That's it. I want to tell you, when Trump took office the first time, she was, 18 years old?
Yeah.
When Trump was running for office, she was 16, 15 when he started making. Hinting at the possibility of him becoming a presidential candidate. She was in her teens. So, I mean, if we're gonna, we really can't blame her. She's playing the game she's been taught over the last years, and that game is point at your opponent and tell everybody how bad he or she is. She's doing what she thinks a political representative is supposed to do. Unfortunately, I don't know how we reel the political game back into its proper place where we don't attack one another, we support one another and try to do things, whether it's from a different perspective or a different point of view. We try to do things together to get the American to get the American dream to a place that's sustainable for everybody.
Yeah. But she's in the big arena now. She's in the biggest arena in America, and you can't play loud music that's trying to upset the world against the other team.
But Dan, I mean, okay, so we have a situation that, for me, you're up by 35 points, okay? And so now we have a running clock. And, you get upset and you slam the ball down, but you're losing by 35. So we have unsportsmanlike. And that's why I see this Karoline Leavitt. I guess that's where I kind of see her right now because, she's, you want to start over? You want to start over? I mean, we got 2 minutes to go. We're up 50 and we're going to beat you guys. Yeah, whatever. Come on, girl. That's a technical foul.
Yeah. Well, and she's new to the job, so
no excuse, though.
We'll give her some grace, but I still got to call her out on the court.
She's gonna do great.
She'll probably rise up. So she just needs a little more coaching. I hope they don't have to send her down to the D League, to the press secretary developmental league.
She's already been there. She learned how to play the game when she was in the D League. She's now in the big stadium, as you saying.
She just can't play. You just can't play the the bashing music.
She's not following the rules, though, Dan.
She's mocking the previous administration.
Right.
Yeah. He's mocking it. That's like playing music while she shouldn't be playing the music. Okay, so
MVP.
So MVP. One reason, back to Karoline. She opened up, which I thought was impressive this week, and I thought of you guys because she said we're going to open it up to everybody, podcasters. And so that's why I thought, well, we'll mention her. So maybe she'll want the political refs to come to the White House press room and be there. So, Jesse, get on the plane, Jess. You see Jesse's big smile. Give us that big smile, Jess. Say, I got a question. I'm from the political refs. And I got a question. She says, I knew I brought you to Washington, D.C., so go ahead, Jesse, all the political refs. Okay, let's move to the MVP. This week, you guys too, we looked around who really did something that was outstanding, that really shone. There's a lot of bickering. We had more Senate hearings on some confirmations. I know. So I watch a lot of different, we've talked about, I watch news media, about 14 different news media, the far left, 15%, the far right, 15%, in the middle, 70%. And there's the news stations come on the last couple of years, News Nation, it's out of Chicago. And there's a guy named Chris Cuomo. Now, when I say that, some people go, I hate Chris Cuomo. But if you watch him night after night, he is a pretty fair. He could be a referee. I think we might get him on the court. He may want us on his court after he hears he's been the MVP. But Chris Cuomo, that's my nomination. There's my.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I haven't seen too much of him. But when I do see him, he's fair. He is fair. I've seen him criticize the Democrats in their recent efforts and the way they went about things, and he's always fair and open to criticizing and objectively viewing the current administration and the current president and calling them on their mistakes and saying, hey, this, what about this? And hey, what about that? So he's fair. I don't have any other MVPs for the week. I think, the most valuable player would probably be Donald Trump again. He's given a lot of value. Some things you could agree with, a lot of things you may not agree with, a lot of things I do, some things I don't, but we can go ahead and give it to your man, MVP, Chris
Cuomo. Jesse, any thoughts?
Well, I guess if I've got the tiebreaker this week, I'm going with Chris Cuomo. Only because, Donald has not had President Trump, in my opinion, has not had a very good week. So I can't see co-signing that one on this particular weekend.
You're never going to see co-signing that.
No, wait a minute now. Last week I did.
Yeah, you did.
That's right.
Last week I went along with it. But this week, no, I think he's already received his for the year. No.
And there you have it.
So as soon as he brings the people home that have been hostages, then I'll be the first one to congratulate him for doing an outstanding job.
I love it.
We need those people back here on, our soil.
I love it. Folks, you're listening to the Political Refs. Jesse Hall, Justin Criddle, and myself, Dan Snell. It's unscripted. We don't always even know what we're going to say. And so, but we're having fun. What we want to do is bring some rules and some fresh look from a basketball officiating perspective to Washington, D.C. and the players there. And so keep on watching, share this, like it, follow, comment. If you want to become a basketball referee, we'll all three tell you it's the greatest hobby or greatest profession, avocation, whatever you want to call it, there is. If you want to go into politics, that's a good thing too, because America needs people to lead, and to lead in a way that people will follow. So from the political refs, Jesse, Justin, and myself, keep tuning in, and we'll see you down the court.
Best part-time job in the world.
Oh, yes.